Morning, lads. It's Saturday, about 6 or 7 or 14th, and I'm heading off to work because, well, it's Saturday and I work on most Saturdays. Today, I got up feeling pretty good, but only one thing on my mind, and it's a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a good while because it seems to be a common thread in a lot of the entertainment choices that I make. But before we can talk about that, I just want to talk about one little thing that's just always bugged me. As a kid, I used to read about world history, and I still do to this day, just not as much. It just isn't as simply the time, I don't have that type of time anymore. But as a kid, I used to read about, major events in world history, and one of the things that always bugged me about invading forces and conquering nations and all that was that the first thing they always seemed to target was the conquered nations' libraries. And I guess that makes sense. You don't want the people to be educated. You want to keep them down. You want to keep them ignorant. You want to dumb the masses. That way they don't start asking questions. All that good stuff. All that makes sense. But it kind of always used to upset me. And I didn't really know why it upset me. I mean, it's just a library. They're just books. But I guess it's not really about that. It's more about the amount of effort it took to gain that knowledge and how easily it can be lost. And that kind of segues? I think that's the word. Yeah. It kind of connects to what I woke up to, the topic that I woke up today wanting to talk about, which was basically lost knowledge. And what the future could be like if what we have today were to be suddenly erased. The reason I bring that up is because lately I've been thinking about two series that I've really liked and that I didn't know were connected until I really started to think about them. And that was Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a game from the PlayStation 4, and Gurren Lagann, which is an anime that came out almost a decade back, I want to say. Actually, probably more than that, maybe like 20 years ago. I think they even celebrated, they did the 20 or 25 year anniversary recently. I'm no good with dates, as anybody can tell. That's why I'm constantly telling you, hey, this is today's date, because I don't remember, and I'm not expecting you to remember. In any case, for whatever reason, I was thinking about Gurren Lagann, and, well, I'm pretty much close to finishing Horizon Zero Dawn. I know I'm a little late on that, but I've wanted to enjoy it. I didn't want to just shotgun the whole thing, so I've been taking it little by little. But just losing information like that, or the idea that some catastrophic event could occur, and then all the work that humanity has done in the hundreds of years to get to the point where we are now, for that to suddenly just be lost. I mean, it's a little scary. It's a little interesting to think, well, where do we go from there? And I like how both series tackle that issue. Yeah, spoilers. I should have probably said that before. But come on, man. It's been 20 years. If you haven't seen Gurren Lagann by now, you weren't going to. So what does it matter if it's spoiled? And for Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm pretty sure you played it. And if you didn't play it, well, don't worry about it. You're not going to remember anyway. Because if you didn't play it by now, then chances are you're not going to. But in any case, both media titles, both IPs, handle this one particular topic in a very different way. while in Horizon they create this mythos out of what the world used to be, and it's a really, really great mythos. I mean, as far as storytelling and world building goes, writers and directors and everybody involved in the creative process, hey, that's how it's done. Like, Horizon keeps you right in the middle of it, and it feeds you just enough to keep you interested, just enough to keep you going. And even when the big reveal is done, you're still wondering. It's not, oh, okay, we finally know what happened. No. The world building has been done so well that even though you've been told, hey, this is what happened and this is the reason why things are the way they are, there's still so much left to be said, and it's this ongoing mystery that's pretty impressive. It's pretty good. When it comes to Gurren Lagann, I guess it kind of does that as well, but the focuses of that particular anime are different. It's not really so much, hey, what happened to the world, as opposed to, hey, this is our story, this is our journey, and everything that we discover in that journey is secondary to that. I could probably do just a whole video on Gurren Lagann, but I'm not really going to. I mean, like I said, if you liked it, you've probably seen it by now. If you're a fan of the Gainax, or you like Trigger, the Studio Trigger, and you looked into some of their older properties, then by now you probably ran into Gurren Lagann. And if you didn't, well, go check it out. I mean, it's not that big of a spoiler what I'm telling you. You could probably figure out from episode 1 or episode 2 that something's going on. The big spoiler in Gurren Lagann is, I'm not going to tell you. Go check it out if you want to know, and if you don't want to know, then don't worry about it. You're not missing out that much. But just this idea of losing knowledge of what a future civilization would have to do because they aren't privy to our discoveries. That's really interesting, because we always think about history, and we're taught to think about history in this particular manner, that it's linear, that it's progressive, that as we go along, we're not only getting more intelligent and more advanced, but things are getting better. But there have been a lot of discoveries lately that are starting to challenge that notion that history is linear, that history is progressive, that in past times people were savages. All these ideas that they taught us as kids, it kind of doesn't really fly. And I just got a glimpse of what I look like. Sorry about that. That's just the sun. It's 7 something in the morning, and that's the sun. And but these ideas don't fly. All our structures from the past seem to indicate that people weren't as dumb or as primitive as we're led to believe. Now, there's secret history that has been lost to time, just like in Horizon and like in Gurren Lagann. And that's why, as a culture, I think we're so fascinated with this idea, because this idea is in hundreds of titles. Once you start looking for it, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. And the reason for that is exactly that. It's because it's a real phenomenon. All the information that we have lost that could have pushed us hundreds of years ahead of where we are now, all that's gone, forgotten to time. And to a certain point, we know that's the case. And I think that's why decisions were made to kind of not follow that narrative. Let's see if I can put myself in, if I can explain this in a way that's easy to follow. I'm not a conspiracy nut. I just call it the way I see it. And the other day I was hearing this blog about these nuts who are conspiracy and nuts. And they were talking about how there are several institutions like related to education and stuff that decided at some point, hey, our history has to be this. It cannot be the other. Because if it's the other, then we're left with holes, things that we cannot explain, where the only solution might even be a supernatural one or something that's beyond what we as human beings can do. And we can't have that. So we're going to go with this established narrative. And that's what we're taught in school. That's why a lot of things seem to have no type of answer. And that's why theories like the ancient aliens things, I think that's why that's so popular, is because people are starting to finally get up and realize, hey, something is going on. Something is out of place. And we need a solution, an explanation to why things are out of place. And the ancient aliens theory, I think, kind of does that, but it's all tied to the fact that we know that our history as we know it isn't what we're being told. There is knowledge that has been lost to time. There are civilizations that have been lost to time. And these myths that we have about like Atlantis and things like that, and Lemuria and Shangri-La, and I can keep going, but there's just so many myths about lost cities and lost civilizations that at this point in time I just can't believe that it's just simple stories. It just can't be simple stories. All myths come from truth, an exaggerated truth. I know I always say that word weird, the truth, but it's true just the same. It all comes from someplace. So is there something that we lost a long time ago that now we're trying to desperately regain? Yeah, absolutely, I believe in that. Are we going to be able to regain that history, that knowledge? More than likely not. You know, more than likely not. Whatever knowledge we did have has just been lost to time. I think that's just something that we have to accept. And instead of like dwelling on it so much, we should just move on. And hopefully, maybe at some point in our future history, we're able to get a small glimpse into what it was that we had before. Because from the remnants of these civilizations that existed and no longer exist, it looks like they could do some pretty cool things. And again, it's all tied into lost knowledge. And like I said at the beginning of the video, Horizon Zero Dawn is a great game, and it's exactly this. I mean, it captivated me from the get-go because you are a part of this world that clearly knows that knowledge was lost. And instead of pursuing it, well, they demonize it. And when it comes to Gurren Lagann, it's almost the same way. People live in fear of the surface because all they know is that bad things will happen to you. You will die if you go to the surface. But at the same time, they don't know why. It's only later on in the journey that you find out why. Just like in Horizon Zero Dawn. And I guess that's the same tack we gotta take. Is only later on in our journey, as a species, will we truly know what happened. But we have to take that chance and simply just make it there, I guess. So I got up today and I had two things on my mind. Coffee and lost knowledge. And I figured, well, let's talk about that. for a little bit. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, any comments, go ahead and let me know. I'm pretty sure you can track down my email somewhere. If not, just leave a comment. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.